At 17,000 feet, Kardungla Pass in January is a frozen, hostile environment. Sitting here for a 5-day climate fast is genuinely life-threatening. Yet this is where Sonam Wangchuk planned to protest. Most people know him as a brilliant educator, an innovator, and the real-life inspiration for the eccentric engineer in the blockbuster movie 3 Idiots. But the local administration took a different view. Before he could reach the mountain pass, authorities intervened and stopped him, citing the dangerous conditions. Within a year, the situation escalated. The man who once built artificial glaciers found himself detained under the National Security Act, spending nearly 6 months inside a central jail. This trajectory, from a celebrated educational innovator to a prisoner in a high-security jail, challenges the public image of a man once known solely as an inventor. To understand how he arrived here, we have to look at how he approaches every crisis, as an engineer analyzing a system failure. The first system he identified as broken was the classroom. Wangchuk didn't attend school until he was 9, but when he finally entered the government system, he found the lessons were conducted in Urdu, a language he barely understood. Like many local students, he was labeled a failure by a curriculum that wasn't designed for him. In 1988, he co-founded a movement to give these failed students a second chance. He replaced abstract rote learning with hands-on, practical problem-solving. His curriculum focused on solving the specific environmental and social challenges of Ladakh. He aimed to improve the region from within, diverging from a traditional system that often funnels rural youth toward urban corporate careers. This work in education established his lifelong methodology. He viewed the high failure rate of students not as a personal shortcoming of the children, but as a design flaw in the educational architecture. Soon, he applied that logic to the environment. Ladakhi farmers faced a severe irrigation crisis because natural mountain glaciers were melting too late to provide water for the crucial spring sowing season. Wangchuk's solution was the ice stupa. By piping winter water down the mountains, gravity sprays water into the air, creating massive artificial glaciers. These structures melt gradually as the spring sun rises, releasing water exactly when crops need it. The ice stupa earned him international fame. It demonstrated that even a massive, abstract threat like climate change could be directly mitigated with clever, localized engineering. But by 2019, Wangchuk realized that physical engineering had reached its limits. That year, Ladakh's political status was changed, converting it into a Union territory. This geopolitical shift created a new set of vulnerabilities. This diagram shows the removal of the 6th schedule layer, a vital constitutional safeguard that previously protected Ladakh's land rights, local jobs, and its fragile mountain ecology. For Wangchuk, building ice stupas became a secondary concern. He argued that the natural environment could not be saved if the legal framework itself permitted its exploitation, prompting him to launch direct campaigns for constitutional protections. This movement reached a tragic turning point in 2025. During a hunger strike in Leh, protests turned violent, resulting in 4 deaths and several injuries. The government accused Wangchuk of fueling the unrest with provocative speeches. He was detained under the National Security Act and spent nearly 6 months here, at Jodhpur Central Jail, as the state began treating the innovator as a primary security threat. His imprisonment signaled a shift in his role. When the political architecture of the region became the primary threat to its survival, he turned his engineering mindset toward a new task, designing a democratic resistance. Following his release, Wangchuk returned immediately to his core message, advocating for dialogue and constitutional safeguards to protect Ladakh's future. But his mission has since expanded beyond his home region. In June 2026, he traveled to Delhi to join youth-led protests against alleged irregularities in the national NEET medical examinations. He launched an indefinite hunger strike at Jantar Mantar, persisting even as his health failed and authorities were directed by courts to monitor him. Sonam Wangchuk remains an engineer at his core. Whether he is building schools, freezing winter water, or fasting for transparency, his life's work centers on one goal: identifying and repairing failing systems to protect the future of India's youth.